another week of FPP. We are so excited to have Keith Barfield here with us from BMSS, who is actually one of the founders of the firm, which is super exciting. And then we also have Mackenzie, one of our BAP officers here. So to start us off, I'm going to kind of hand it over to Keith and let him talk about his path and how he got to where he is, and then introduce our topic of work-life balance and let him talk about kind of his initial vision for the firm when he started it as it relates to work-life balance.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the chance to be back to be involved with Beta Alpha Psi Auburn. Really enjoyed my association with the organization over the years. I graduated from Auburn, worked for two of the largest locally owned firms in Alabama over the years before 1991, when me and two of my partners co-founded Barfield, Murphy and Shank. And we quickly added Steve Smith as a fourth partner, so it became Barfield, Murphy, Shank and Smith. And as we've grown and merged, we've added in locations and firms in Gadsden and Huntsville. And so just in the past 2 years, we've shortened our long name to BMSS LLC.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. So the first thing that we kind of want to talk to you about is, work-life balance is the topic for today. So, when you and your partners were starting BMSS, could you tell us a little bit about, your vision as it relates to work-life balance and how you wanted to, run your firm in that aspect?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. And it's one that's near and dear to our hearts because in 1991, when we formed the company, hardly anybody was talking about work-life balance, and accounting had a reputation as kind of being a sweatshop operation during 2 or 3 months of the year. And we were involved in working some long, hard hours at the previous firms that we were with. And we just felt like if we started a new firm that we could put that work-life balance in. We didn't want to just be accountants 24/7. We wanted to have a family life. We wanted to be family oriented and have time to spend with our children and our spouses. And so we started our firm out with that number one in mind, and it immediately started paying off big benefits in the quality of people that we recruited and hired on in the very beginning. And so once we saw that it was going to, number one, bring some high quality employees and staff to work with, we almost doubled down on it and started really focusing on that being our differentiator for the firm.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome because I think people, especially current accounting students, that's something that is like probably one of their top priorities is work-life balance and being able to have like your professional life, but also being able to have something outside of it to be able to bring that joy and that encouragement into your professional life. And I know like that's something that I'm looking for, so that's awesome. But my next question is, are there any specific policies that BMSS has in place to help with that vision? Or is it work-life balance purely a matter of firm culture?
Well, no, it's actually just baked into our DNA. There's not like a list of benefits, for instance, that you can employ to create work-life balance. And I'll tell you, one of the things that we do that has been very difficult, probably our biggest challenge over the years, is being properly staffed. And we spend a lot of time looking at, it's almost scientific. We look at we've set up every project in the software, every job, every client. We know how long everything is going to take. And then we go ahead and assign that to all of our individual staff. We almost know by the end of December every movement, that our staff are going to make, which clients are going to be on. We get a curveball, somebody's not ready, and we have to make adjustments constantly. That's probably what makes it so hard. But we have just spent an extraordinary amount of time over the years making sure that we were properly staffed. And that's where the work-life balance comes in. If you have a good reputation, I think we've been nominated best firm to work with in Birmingham for 10 years in a row. We've won a national AICPA level best firms to work with. So we always have our antenna up looking for great people to work with, so that at the last minute we know, oh my goodness, we don't have enough people, we're one or two or three people short. We like to tap into people that we've built a relationship with to, hey, now's the time to come on and jump on with us and help us this tax season, or as we've renamed it, success season.
Oh, I like that. I haven't heard that before, but that makes it sound a little less scary, I think.
Yes, it really was success season last year during COVID crisis, and it just turned out to be really one of our best years.
That
And
is
so
fantastic.
it's really, we look at it as success season now.
That is awesome. I love that. So kind of going along with that, actually, the next question that we have for you is, how does promoting work-life balance like you do at the firm actually help to keep, great clients and great employees loyal to the firm?
Well, that's a pretty good question, because it might not be exactly what you first think. It it compounds on itself when you have happy, well-performing staff. It creates low turnover. A lot of the average for CPA firms might be a 20% turnover a year, and we've had an exceptionally low turnover rate over the years. Probably from under 10% turnover.
Wow.
And I know as we grow, we will have more turnover, just the mechanics of the numbers. But having staff with a longevity um, keeps the client very happy, because they really don't enjoy training new staff on their work projects over and over every year. So we've had some 5-year, 10-year runs with staff and clients, and those relationships get really deep when you have long-term relationships, and so that keeps our firm also low turnover on clients. I mean, we do lose some clients, but it's usually not because they're tired of training new staff all the time. We get people, we keep our staff, we keep our clients, and that creates just a wonderful synergy with each other. And it's been one of the biggest payoffs of a work-life balance.
Yeah, I could definitely see where that would help with your clients and also with the employees, because I know I would probably hate explaining my projects to new people all the time. So having that is amazing. But our last question for you is, what would be some advice that you would give students, current accounting students going through recruiting, to help them find a firm that values both exceptional work and also quality in an employee's personal life?
Yeah, thank you for giving me a little preview on that question. I had to think about it a minute, but I believe the best advice that I could give is to spend some time your last couple of years uh, at Auburn getting to know some of the lower level employees of the target CPA firms that you think you might want to work with. Um, sure, it's fun to meet the partners and build relations, or the managers, or the recruiting, the HR department. They all do a good job. But if you can use your friends network, your social media network, and if an employee is really happy where they are, they like to talk about their firm they work for. They like to talk about what makes them different, what they're doing at work, maybe some of the innovations going on in accounting because of the current COVID crisis. But I would say about 90% of the new hires that come through are friends of some of our existing staff. And it probably didn't start out even as a recruiting conversation, just started out as, hey, how's work going? And we have some very enthusiastic staff. They love working with us. They like our style and work environment and how we use technology, some of our cornerstones. And so they talk about it. And I would learn all you can from maybe even the lowest level staff that you can find in the organization that you can network with, and they'll take the time. They were just recently in your position looking for a firm, and they want to steer everybody to the right place where there's a culture fit. And so that would be my number one advice.
That is great advice. And honestly, I found that when I was going through the recruiting process, that was, some of the most fun parts was getting to talk to people, close to my age, where they were recently in my shoes and I would be in their position soon. So I thought that was a really fun part of the process.
Yes, it is. It's getting to know people and networking and it will, if you can develop that skill, it'll serve you well throughout your whole accounting career, really.
Awesome. Well, that is all of the questions that we have for you today, but thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. We are super lucky to get to have this interview with you.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Y'all made it fun, and look forward to watching y'all succeed.
Awesome. Thank you. And War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.